Hi, my name is Elise Chayabracha Adelson, and welcome to today's Flow Yoga, focusing on hugging into midline, lunging, twisting, and option for hanumanasana, also known as splits. Option, of course, for half splits. Meeting yourself where you are, as always, crossing your right shin in front of your left, opposite knee, opposite ankle. Take a moment to check in, eyes closed or a soft gaze. Feel what it feels like to be in this body right here, right now. Letting go of any adventures you may have had, getting yourself to your mat today, and sending gratitude to anyone or anything that supports you in this radical act of self-care. Noticing how the breath is moving within you, noticing how the sitting bones, your points of contact, are touching the ground. Feel the mat, feel the ground supporting you. And check in with your why. Why did you show up on your mat today? What brings you to this practice? What's your why? Simply feeling good, landing in your body, breathing and moving. It could be any of those. And slowly open your eyes and release your arms. Reach your arms on up. Bend the elbows, opposite head, opposite elbow, and energetically pull the elbows apart. One more breath here. Reach the arms back on up. And now hold on to your forearms or opposite hand, opposite elbow. Energetically pull the elbows apart. And again, reach on up. This time we'll add a little something, something. Lean on over to one side. Root down to the sitting bones, lean to the other, come back on up, and turn to one direction, back of the heart turning, and center, and spin over to the other side. Bring yourself back on up, release your arms, and again, grab onto your wrist or your forearms or the opposite elbow with opposite hand. Same thing we do with arms overhead, leaning to the side, come back on up, and the other way. Come back on up, mindfully turning to one direction. Come back to center and the other direction. Bring it to center now. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Keep a slight or a lot of bend in your elbows. Press your thumbs into your sacrum and lift up through the collarbones. Now, energetically pull your arms apart. Keep that broadness to the chest. And then begin to pull your hands energetically apart. Lift your fists from your back body. Keep that openness through the chest, squeezing the arms towards straightish, and stay here or fold forward. So you're squeezing, shoulder blades onto your back for 3, hinging at your hips, 2, and 1. Make your way on up. As you release the arms, reach them up to the sky. And as you exhale, twisting to the right, left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. Root down through the sitting bones, lengthen through the spine, and keep pressing your right knee into your left hand, and then twist with the ribs. So the ribs spin. Keep those collarbones broad like we did with both hands interlaced behind the back. And turn your gaze to the left and drop your chin towards your left armpit. Do a couple nods. Saying yes to your why, yes to yourself. And slowly releasing, finding your center. Switching whatever shin was in front. For me, it's left shin. Again, reach your arms up. Maybe the other forearm is on top this time. Pull the elbows apart. On your next exhale, holding on to forearms or opposite elbow. Pull the elbows energetically apart. Reach the arms up. Maybe the other forearm's on top. Lean to one side, lateral flexion, center to the other side. Come back on up, spin, center, spin the other direction. Center, release the arms, and again, hold on to forearms, could be wrists and also elbows. Same actions, side. So we're warming up through the shoulders, other side, and the spine. Center, turn, rotate, center, other direction. And center. Release the grip, but interlace your hands the weird way, the way that feels like you're holding on to someone else's hand. Press the thumbs into your sacrum. Lift the armpits up, broaden through the collarbones, pull your hands apart energetically. Lift your thumbs from your back body, then squeeze your arms towards straight without the ribs popping out, and fold. Breathe, relax your face, relax your eyeballs, releasing any anticipation, the holding of anticipation in your face, in your shoulders, in your brain. Root down, come all the way on up, arms float up, twist to the left. Keep broadening through the collarbones. Again, left knee pressing into right hand, and spin with your chest, or rather your ribs. Now turn your gaze to the right, dropping your chin towards your right armpit. Little nods, yes to yourself. Yes to this moment. And slowly releasing, make your way to center. Hands and knees, pat up your knees if you need. Let's warm up the wrists before any weight bearing, such as plank or downward facing dog in the near future. So we'll start off with the hands and knees relatively close to each other. Take your hands for a walk. Exploring a different angle in towards external rotation until your fingertips are facing your knees. Soften your shoulders, soften your face and your eyeballs, and circle around with your body 4 times each direction. So as the hips circle back, allow the heels of the hands to lift up a little from the mat, switching directions. Really important to prep the wrists before any weight bearing. Bring it to center, fingertips forward. Now flip onto the back of your hands. Again, less intensity, knees closer to your fingertips. Soften shoulders from ears and make fists, about 5 to 6. Spreading through the fingers as you open up. Now slowly releasing, stand on your knees, light fists, circle the wrists 5 times each direction. And let's shake it out, shake it down, shake it up, shake it down again. One more time. Shaking it up, shake it down. Whew. You can even flutter your lips there after all that wrist work. Let it go. Hands and knees, wrists below your shoulders. So wrists below the shoulders, cat-cows. Round through the spine, any variation you like. Pause and inhale. You can tuck the toes under, coming into your cow. Exhale, tops of the feet, press the toes down, coming into cat. And again, tuck the toes under and coming into cow. Freestyle. Moving any way that feels good. That might be a couple body circles, wag your tail side to side. And finding center. Finding center here, walking the wrists slightly in front of your shoulders. Spread the fingers wide and find your tiger's pause. So you're gripping the mat slightly with your finger pads. Walk the knees far enough back that the thigh bones are straight up and down. Curl the toes under. So we'll do one posture before we come into down dog. Puppy dog pose variation. For this variation, imagine you're squeezing a block in between your upper arms or above your elbows and lift your armpits. Resist collapsing in the forearms and keep your thigh bones straight up and down. Dropping the tailbone and softening the ribs upward. Now find a little bit more melting through the chest. Head hanging wherever it likes. You can even place a block underneath your head for 3, 2, 1. Look forward, curl the toes under, and hips up and back, down dog. Moving any way that feels good to you. Pedal it out, side to side. Plank pose, either float it forward or rolling it forward. And hello, let's wake up the core to inform our bigger movement. Support and inform. Right knee hovers over the ground as if the right knee is about to kiss the ground. Straighten the right leg. Then left knee. and straighten. Keep reaching your sitting bones back towards your heels and pressing the heels back so that your bottom is not popping up and it's not sinking down. Well, let's do one more each side. And then downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Do what you need to do. Shake the head out. Okay, double knees this time, or stick with the single knees. Bringing it forward. And double knees hover, press the ground away, and straighten. So we're going to do about 6 to 8. Lower and straighten. Lower and straighten. Again, doing one at a time is also an option. Taking breaks when you need. And downward facing dog. Woo, pedal it out. And one more variation adding on, doing any of the ones we did before. Rolling it forward or floating it forward. Double knees. And then round through the spine like you're doing cat. So separate the shoulder blades. And then neutral. Double knees hover. Lengthen. Press away. Neutral. Double knees. Press away. Neutral. 3 to 4 more of those. Rhythm of your own breath. So scapular push-ups. Feel the fire, breathe. I'm gonna do 1, 2 more. And downward facing dog. Woo, pedal it out. Rolling it all the way forward and lowering down. Coming into locust pose. Lengthen everything away from the mat. So think less about lifting, how far you can lift, and think more of a hovering. For 3, 2, and 1. Hands by the sides, downward facing dog. And then walk your hands all the way back to your feet, some hang time. Shake that out, yes and no. Letting go of anything that is no longer serving you positively. Thank it for serving you positively at one point in your life. No longer does. Allowing any self-limiting thoughts to drip from your brain down to the ground. Press to the heels. Roll it on up. One vertebrae at a time. Woo, do a little shake out. Shake out, shake out. And we'll do some standing work down to the ground. Some sun A, sun B variations. Let's walk to the top of the mat. So we're walking to the top of the mat. And now that we are standing, let's reorientate ourselves in space in the standing posture. Again, bringing your hands to your heart. Taking pause to feel the effects of your effort so far. And again, setting that intention or reminding of your intention for yourself, for your practice. Reminding yourself of the why you show up on the mat for yourself. Simply to breathe, move, to awaken any of those. Any reason, any why. It's your why, it's your practice. Meet yourself where you are. Release your arms at your sides. Root down, rise up, extend a mountain pose, and exhale, hands to your heart, and fold forward. Halfway lift, and exhale, step it back into plank, high push-up, down dog, or take a high to low push-up. Locust again, cobra, or upward facing dog, whatever you need. And downward facing dog, we meet. Bring your feet close together. We'll say hello to squatty dog, and then to lunging. So bringing your hips back, bend the knees wide, keep the feet together. Now keep looking back. Step your right foot. Keep looking back as you step your right foot outside your right hand. And once the right foot lands, wherever it lands, you can use your right hand to assist bringing more forward. Then look forward. And then back, squatty dog, knees bent. Keep looking back, left foot outside of left hand. And then you're lengthening the spine, or rather arching the spine or the back of the heart forward like you do for cow pose. So we'll pick it up a little bit. Again, your own pace, squatty dog. Keep looking back, right foot forward, look forward. Look right foot back, squatty dog. And keep alternating. Let's do 2 more. Each side, each direction. Like often it could be helpful to keep looking back until the foot lands forward. Down dog, feet together, and then you can tippy toe or step hop or float to the top. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then root down, rising up, extended mountain pose. Hands to the heart as a reminder again of your why. You're hugging into your midline. You're acknowledging your truth today, where you are, right here, right now. Adding on, root down, rise up. And exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, down dog, or step it back into plank. And exhale, lowering. Locust cobra or upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog. Squatty dog, feet together. Knees wide, keep looking back. Right foot forward, look forward, left hand stays down. Let's take a twist, right arm up. Right hand down, squatty dog. Left foot forward, look forward, left arm up. Left hand down, squatty dog. Keep on, keeping on. Rhythm of your own breath. Okay? Embracing and breathing with these pockets of fire. Let's do 1 to 2 more each side. 1 to 2 more each side. Pressing the hands down and forward. Keep looking back until that foot steps to the front. Last side. Downward facing dog, feet together, knees bent. Either straighten the legs and tiptoe forward or step, hop, or float, hop of the mat. Halfway lift, forward fold, and root down. Rise up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, hands to your heart. Pause and notice, feel your feet, feel your breath. Moving on, arms to the sides, root down, rise up. And exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, down dog, or take a high to low push-up. Downward facing dog. We will meet. Okay, lifting your right leg up, leading from your right heel. And as you exhale, bend the right knee, keep looking back, raise up onto your right fingertips and right foot forward. So right foot to right thumb this time. Press down through the right heel and press the left heel back. And then reach your arms back and squeeze. Imagine you have like a cinder block. You're squeezing in between your hands. So make sure you're not lying down on your front thigh. Press down from the core of the pelvis. Tone the core, especially the lower belly here. Squeeze the cinder blocks together. Really heavy yoga blocks for 3, 2, 1. Now sweep the arms forward. Biceps in line with your ears. Pressing down from the core of the pelvis down through the legs. Now bend the back knee and drop the tailbone and tone the lower belly on your exhale. Rise up into your crescent. So you're bending that back knee. Good. Now keep lifting your frontal hip points. Keep lifting your frontal hip points. You can lengthen the leg a little bit or a lot. And let's twist to the right, twisting from the ribs. Outer right hip drops away from the right armpit, reaching back with the right hand for 3, 2, and 1. Left hand down to the ground, right arm up. And slide your right foot halfway back. And then turn all your toes to the right, outer edge of your left foot. Left shoulder blade back of the heart, stay here, or right leg on top of left. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Lift the bottom hip up even higher for 3, 2, 1. Lower down onto your right forearm. And then outer edge of your right foot. You can come down to the knees if you need. Right shoulder blade back. Tone the area of your sitting bones. Left arm up for 3, 2, 1. Both forearms on the ground parallel. Widen your feet about hip width distance apart. And then roll your heels to the right. Right hip hovers over the ground. And then switch. Let's do that 2 more times. Each direction. And 1 more. Okay, you can make your way into down dog or stay on your forearms. Walk the feet in a little, if that helps. Bend the knees, reach the hips back, and you're gonna make your way forward on your exhale onto your hands into plank pose. 1, 2, 3. Woo. Plank, lower, taking your flow, locust, cobra, or up dog, downward, facing dog. So we could do that all again on the other side. Downward facing dog, lifting your left leg up. Keep those hips square. Bend the knee, looking back. Come up onto your left fingertips. Left knee forward. Left foot to left thumb. And then sweep your wings back. You can imagine as a cape. Look inward slightly. Belly and ribs soften. It's like you're puffing up that back body like a cape. Pressing through the left heel, right heel back. And then palms can face each other and squeeze those cinder blocks together. So you're not collapsing. Making sure you're pressing down to rise up long through the spine for another 3, 2, 1. Reach your arms forward. Biceps in line with your ears. Pressing down to that left heel for 3, 2, 1. Bend the back knee, drop the tailbone, and tone the lower belly to make your way on up. Now you're gonna stay here or begin to lengthen the back leg a little bit more, still toning the lower abdominals and not collapsing. Outer left hip down and twist to your left. So that outer left hip is probably gonna wanna draw up, press it down. Breathe for 3, expand your wings, 2, and dancing, and 1. Right hand down, left arm up. Left foot halfway back. Spin all your toes to the left. Outer edge of the right foot. Stay here or left leg on top of right. Right shoulder blade back of the heart. So you're spinning your right bicep to the front of the mat. Squeeze inner thighs together for 3, 2, 1. Left forearm down, outer edge of left foot. Right arm up to the sky. Squeeze those inner thighs together for 3, 2, 1. Right forearm down. Separate the feet a little bit wider and side to side. 3 times. Each direction. You got this. Pressing down, toning the core, toning the belly, and make your way like into a dolphin pose. Lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward, and 1, 2, 3, lift the elbows, almost into the bookcase, locust, cobra, or up dog, and we meet downward facing dog. Whew. Moving on, right leg reaches up, rise up into right fingertips, right foot forward, crescent lunge, coming right on up into it. And again, we twist. Shaking the person's hand behind you a little bit more, reaching back. They have something you like, maybe chocolate. Breathe in here, hug it in. Outer right hip drops down for 3, 2, and 1. Again, float the hands down. Downward facing dog, left leg reaches up. Left foot forward. Coming into crescent. From the core of your pelvis, press down to the legs, lift up, and finding your twist again from the rib cage. Expand out through your wings Firm those outer hips in and breathe, reaching for the person behind you a little bit more because they have chocolate. 3, 2, 1, float the hands down and downward facing dog. Add a low push-up if you like, whatever you need, or skip it. Down dog. Press the hands down, feet down, and lengthen your spine. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, and bottom of your exhale, step, hop, or float to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, exhale, and fold. And then bring your feet together, knees together, chair pose. Reaching up, press through the heels, lift the back of the ribs, lift up through your ring fingers, then bring your hands to the heart, maintain the length in the spine, twisting to your right. Okay, so press down through the left elbow and lift your heart up to your thumbs. So make sure your thumbs aren't hanging out in your right armpit. Press down, lift up for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release, forward fold, separate your feet, hip width distance apart. Grab onto your first two, or with your first 2 peace fingers, grab onto your big toes. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. You can have the knees bent if you need. Exhale and fold. So you press your big toes into your first 2 peace fingers and pull your peace fingers up at the same time. Okay, so breathing here. Energize the front of your thighs, belly and ribs soften to the back body. Release your head and slowly releasing. Bring your feet together, knees together, chair pose up. Exhale, hands to your heart, and twist now to the left. Okay, so I'm hooking right elbow outside of the left knee. Lift your heart up to your thumbs. Broaden through the collarbones. Breathing here for 3, and 2, and 1. Releasing, forward fold. Feet hip width distance apart. Now grab onto the big toes with the first 2 peace fingers like you did before, or gorilla pose. Slide your palms underneath your feet until your toes touch your wrists. Lengthen through the spine and exhale, fold. Relax your face. Make sure you're not dumping back into your heels and your hips. Shift the weight a little bit more forward. Breathing for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing your hands. Toe heel your feet out a tiny bit wider. Heels in, toes out. Make your way into squatting frog. You may need 2 blocks for underneath your seats if you need some extra support. Let's take a twist. Left fingertips in front of left toes. Reach your right arm up. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Press down to the heels and press left knee and left elbow together, twisting from the ribs for 3, 2, and 1. Hands to the heart. And the other side. Right fingertips in front of right toes, left arm up. Press down, broaden through the chest. Press elbow and knee together, twisting from the ribs for another 3, 2, and 1. Releasing the hands down and make your way into crow if you like. Any variation you like. So you can have the knees to the outside of the triceps as close to the shoulders as you can. Shift the weight forward into your hands, which are shoulder width apart. Reach the heart forward, reach the sitting bones back, flex the ankles, toes to shins for 3, 2, 1. Landing on your feet, lengthen the legs, toes forward, heels out. Woo, sway side to side. Let that go. And shaking the head out, yes and no. Keep it center, interlace your hands behind your back. Lift up, squeeze. Shoulders from ears as you fold. And slowly releasing your hands, downward facing dog. Okay, lift your right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee. Right foot forward, lower the back knee down. Pad up the back knee if you need. Keep the back toes curled under. or top of the back foot. Take your hands to your front thigh. Energetically hug right foot, front foot to back knee. And don't collapse all the way down yet. So make sure you're not arching through your lower back. Back off a little bit. Lift the frontal hip points, keep that, and then lower down, but not all the way. So you're not collapsing. Belly and ribs in. Keep that lifting of the back of the heart. So you're going to be curling over a high bar, not a low bar. Reach your arms up. Still toning through the abs. You can allow the hips to drop a little bit more, but not collapse like this. A little bit more of a meaningful boundary for 3, 2, 1. Sweep the arms down now and extend out for another 3. Reaching back 2. Lift the back of the heart. And 1. Release the hands. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts up. Left foot forward. Back knee down. Top of the foot or curl the toes under. Hands to the front thigh. Hug front foot and back knee together. Lift the frontal hip points. Toning the abs. Keep the frontal hip points lifted and lower the hips a little bit. Reach up through the ring fingers. Even lift the back of the ribs up. Curling over a high bar, not a low bar for 3, 2, and 1. Sweep the arms down. Keep lifting through the back of the heart, curling over high bar. Again, not a low bar for 3, 2, and 1. Releasing the hands down and downward facing dog. Squatty dog. Feet together. Bend the knees out wide. Keep looking back. Right foot outside of right hand. You can lower down to the back knee if that feels better for you. Lower down onto your forearms or to blocks. Stay here, or right hand to the back of your right ankle as you snuggle your right shoulder underneath your right thigh. Stay here or lift up the back knee. Reach the heart forward, press the left heel back, outer right hip back. Stay here or take in flight. Arms out to the sides and breathe for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing. Downward facing dog. Hello, hips. Squatty dog. Left foot outside of left hand. Back knee down. This side might be a different story, so honor the story on this side. Coming onto your forearms. Keep reaching the heart forward. Stay here, or left hand back of the left ankle. Snuggle your left shoulder underneath your left thigh. You can stay here or lift up the back knee, strong back leg. So the top of the right thigh bone is actually melting up. Pull the outer left hip back. Reach the heart forward. Stay here or take you flight. For 3, extend out through your wings. 2, and 1. Slowly releasing. Downward facing dog. Half splits, option towards splits. Lift your heels, bend your knees, and step your right foot forward. You may need to pad up the back knee. You may need a block or 2 to bring the ground closer. Slide your right foot a little bit more forward, and then reach the hips back, lengthen through the right leg. So taking a position with your feet that the left thigh bone is below the left hip, folding inward. You can take your blocks or your hands, both of them to the outside of your right leg, and pull the outer right hip back and breathe here. For 3, 2, 1. Walk them to the inside and a little bit diagonal now, reaching the hips back, folding inward for 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the blocks forward. Now you can slide your right foot forward or reach the left leg back, or a little bit of both, and rock side to side. Meet yourself where you are. You're not need to touch the ground. I am not near the ground today, and that's okay. The yoga is meeting yourself where you are. Now feel free if you want to take a block underneath your right hip to perch up onto, and breathe for another 3. Woo, soften your eyeballs in your face. 2, reach the arms up if that's accessible to you. And 1, slowly release. Doesn't have to be pretty, just needs to be mindful. Hands and knees. Ooh, shake it out. Wag your tail, moving anywhere that feels good. We got another side, downward facing dog. Lifting the heels, bend the knees, step your left foot forward. This side might be really different. I think it is for me. Walking the left foot more forward until you're able to bring your hips back and the right knee is below the right hip. Folding here. Take a couple cycles of breath. Walking it back, hands to the outside of your left leg. Pull the outer left hip back. Breathing into the sides of your body. For 3, 2, 1. Both hands or blocks inside of left leg at a diagonal. Reaching the hips back for 3, 2, 1. Bringing the blocks forward. Either sliding left foot forward or right leg back. And then wiggle side to side. If you need, you can get both hands inside. Side to side for 3, 2, 1. And then you can place a block underneath your left hip. Meet yourself where you are. Think about more of like an internal rotation of your inner thighs. And press down from the core of your pelvis out through both feet. Stay here, reaching your arms up for 3, 2, and 1. Mindfully as you can, releasing. Again, doesn't have to be graceful. Just needs to be mindful. Downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Lower down to your knees. Double up your mat. Let's set up for a camel pose variation. For this one, curl your toes under. Place blocks next to your ankles. Okay, and imagine you're hugging a block in between your heels so that they're not collapsing. Pressing through the balls of the feet, hands to your pelvis. And give yourself a little bit more of a lifting of your frontal hip points, especially if you're someone who thumbs into your lower back like me. Tone the abs, press down, lengthen through the sides of the body, lift the armpits, shoulder blades onto the back. And then curl over a high bar. Tone the bottom side of your glutes, the bottom fibers of your glutes. Stay here or bringing your hands to blocks. Always a nice option. So often less is more. Or you can make light fists to your heels and press your fists and your heels together for another 3, 2, and 1. Press down to the knees, lift from the back of the ribs, and have a seat on your heels, tops of the feet. You can bring one hand to your heart, one to your belly. Feel again the effects of your efforts. Power in the pause, and slowly release. Hands and knees onto your bottom. Let's bring the soles of the feet together and knees out wide. For this variation, hold onto your ankles and 4 corners of the feet together, toes to the shins. Press, stand on your own feet here. Press your 4 corners together, and then from your pelvis, lengthen the knees away from your pelvis. Okay, so press on your feet, lengthen the thigh bones away, and the hands are pulling the ankles in and up for this variation. Breathe for 3, 2, and 1. Stay here, keep hugging the elbows in, fold, or the elbows can come a little bit wider. Breathing into the back body, relaxing your face. And slowly make your way on up. You could use hands to bring the knees closer together. Come onto your back. Onto your back. Arms at your sides, palms facing down, flowing bridges. 4 flowing bridges. Press the heels, lift the hips, reach the arms overhead, and exhale, lower down. 3 more. Lift and lower. 2 more. Lift and lower. One more. Lift. And lower. Figure 4, right ankle over left thigh bone. Hug left knee in towards your left shoulder. Not the chest, but more the shoulder. So you're distributing the weight more evenly through your hips. Little rock side to side. And releasing your hands, lower the left foot down, but lower the shape of your legs to the left. Turn your head to the right. Also an option of left hand to right ankle. Permission for the back of the right hip to be heavy. Can your ribs and belly soften towards the right? Allowing your breath to settle. And slowly release. Let's bring it back on up and switching sides. The left ankle over right thigh bone. Right knee in towards right shoulder. Shoulders drop. Back of the neck long. Relax the face. And slowly releasing. Right foot to the ground, arms to the side, and lower the legs to the right. So you're standing on the sole of your left foot. Right hand to left ankle. Permission for the back of the left hip to be heavy, to soften. You could turn your head to the left. Again, allowing the breath to settle. And slowly release, bring it back on up. Both feet on the ground. This time, feet together, knees together, right knee over left knee. Lower your knees to the left, turn your head to the right. Breathing into the back of the body as much as the front. And slowly leading from the core, ribs and belly towards the ground, knees to center. Now hug your knees in towards your chest. You could grab onto the shins or the outer ankles or the outer edges of the feet. Another variation is to lift the heels from your bottom and gently hug your knees, or rather your ankles towards your shoulders. Make sure your hips aren't twisting or one side isn't hiking up to the other, or one side isn't hiking up to the armpit. And slowly release, uncross, left knee over right knee. And arms out to the sides and lower your knees to the right. Turn your head and your inner body to the left. Relax your face. Breathing into the back of the waist, the lower back. And slowly bring it back to center. Knees in, holding on to knees, shins, ankles, outer edges of the feet. Lift the feet if you want. Away from your pelvis and gently hug them in towards your shoulders. Let the sitting bones be heavy. And then slowly release, happy baby pose. You're a happy baby. I like to take the variation of the elbows and forearms to the inside of the shins. Hands hold on to the outer edges of the feet. Knees towards the ground. Soles of the feet to the sky. Hands pull down, outer edges of the feet, and inner edges of your feet press up. I'm hugging my elbows and my knees in towards each other. Shoulders soften, back of the neck is long. It's a relatively active, happy baby. Rockabye baby, side to side if that feels good to you. Maybe even straighten one leg as you lean to one side and then the other. And slowly release for a yogi's choice, any posture you feel like you need. for 6 to 8 cycles of breath. It could be core, it could be another hip stretch. I'm feeling like a dolphin right now. I'm going to bring my elbows. I bring my elbows slightly more narrow than my shoulders. I'm going to take the variation of spreading the fingers and bringing the palms together, not interlacing the hands. I lift my armpits, lengthen the sides of the body, melt the heart. Belly and ribs soften in, curl the toes under, and I bring the hips back first, and then I lift my hips up. You might need to shorten the stance. Press down through the knife edge of your hands. Press the palms together, pressing through the center of the wrists, center of forearms, and the elbows. Let your head hang free. Knees can be really bent to have a nice natural curve in your lower back. Maintaining that, it can lengthen the legs, but without the pelvis tilting backwards. Stay in your choice pose as long as you like. It's the time to make our way to Savasana, resting pose, whatever shape that is for you. I'm gonna lie down on my back, legs wide, take up lots of space, maybe arms a little bit wider than you're used to. Get yourself settled, lengthening your sitting bones forward, shoulder blades away from shoulders or ears. Get side out a couple times as you allow the earth and your mat to hold you. Each exhale sinking a little bit more deeply into the ground as you soften from the inside out. Anytime you need, you can rock your head side to side a couple times, wiggle the fingers. And softening from the inside out, you are supported. And taking a breath or two to reflect on any insights you may have gained about your practice, about yourself today. You could also remind yourself of your why you show up to practice. Now offer up any of these insights to the vast ocean of consciousness. Allow yourself to be filled with peace and awareness. Softening the space in between your ears. And you can stay here as long as you like. If you're watching the replay, feel free to press pause. If you're live, you can press mute. Slowly bringing movement back to fingers and toes, deepening your breath. Draw your legs closer together, knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a big hug of gratitude for investing this time on your mat. Roll on over to whatever side you like. Pause. Make your way on up. Comfortable seated position. Eyes could be closed or soft gaze. Overlap your hands on top of your heart. Think of one thing in your life that you are grateful for, no matter how big or small. And we'll end together one cleansing breath. First, empty out all the air from your lungs. Inhale through your nose, fill up. Keep your heart lifted. Exhale. And as always, gratitude for practicing together. May it all be of benefit to everybody else around us. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining to breathe, move, and yoga together. Have a great rest of the day. I hope to see you soon. Bye.